So my introduction and title might be a little bit controversial, but it is absolutely crystal clear. Most health and medical professionals absolutely suck at management, and that has a major bearing on the ability or lack thereof for their business to grow, for their team to thrive, and ultimately it means they can't change as many lives. Let me take you through over the next couple of minutes and show you exactly why and exactly how you can make sure that you don't suck at management. So let's just cut straight to the chase. To be completely honest with you, one of the biggest, probably one of the biggest challenges with business ownership in the health and medical industry is the fact that we, and I'm going to include myself into that, not so much now these days, but previously, absolutely, we, me, self included, have absolutely sucked at management. And the premise is really quite simple, is the fact that we have been bashed to death over the last 10 or maybe 15 years all about leadership and how we need to be a better leader and how we need to lead people, how a leader needs to create more leaders, etc., etc. We all know what I'm talking about right here. It has been the biggest theme in business development. There's been every self-proclaimed expert in the health and medical industry in the last decade all talk about leadership. There's particular groups that all just profess about, leadership is this, leadership is that, you've got to be a better leader, etc. And you know what? Absolutely we do. We can all improve. We all might be good, but we all need to be great. We can all look to always improve. The word Kaizen itself means continuous improvement, which is the Japanese proverb for that. So I'm not for one moment talking down leadership, nor am I turning around and saying that people that talk about leadership all the time are wrong, because fundamentally they are not. Absolutely, we need to be better managers. We need to work on our managerial skills, etc. But the heading for this podcast was why most allied health professionals and medical professionals suck at management. And quite simply, it is because there is too much emphasis put on leadership and not enough put on management. See, the fundamental thing is this: leadership and management are two completely different hats that you need to be able to wear as a business owner, as a team leader. Right? You need to be able to manage, but you also need to be able to lead, and they are polar opposites. So fundamentally, make sure that you understand that management and leadership are completely different. And the irony in so many of these different groups and so many of these self-proclaimed experts that talk about leadership and how you got to be a better leader, and all my success came down because I taught myself or learnt to be a better leader, the vast majority of time, when they then open their mouth and breathe the next sentence, they actually start talking about management principles. They actually start talking about how they did this or they did that, but it's actually talking about management. So it shows their complete lack of understanding of the difference between management and leadership. So part of that therein lies the problem, is in many respects, it's the blind leading the blind. Now, this might be a little bit controversial, and I might have a few people going, oh, that's a bit rich, that's a bit arrogant. Well, no, it's not, because I'm not perfect at management, nor am I perfect at leadership. But the fact is, you can see through other people's challenges and problems a lot easier than they can themselves. And so when we look at this, we need to actually understand that the more you push leadership and the more that we keep talking about being better leaders, the more everyone will have a bigger focus on it. That's okay if you also have a focus on management, because they're polar opposites. And in many respects, the reason why so many businesses in the health and medical industry aren't getting ahead as quickly as they could or should is because they're too heavily focused on leadership and they're not focused on management. See, leadership is all about actually inspiring people, empowering people, being able to actually create more leaders, getting people to step up and look a long way out, pitching visions, looking at how they actually do that, creating a circle of safety, right? There's so much that can be done. There's some great people that work in this space. Simon Sinek started, probably 10, 12, I think maybe even 14 years ago now with the whole idea about starting with why. And then he started to obviously talk about how leaders eat last. And people have heard that, they've learnt that, they feel that, they start to do that, which is great because we potentially create better leaders. And over the years, I think we have created a much bigger focus on leadership and better leaders as a result. But that has occurred at the detriment of people not being able to improve on their management side of things. I mean, being completely honest, the last good book ever written on management is from Kenneth Blanchard back in the late 80s called The 1 Minute Manager. If you haven't read it, go and read it. It is amazingly powerful. And so when that's been the last focus, 25, 30 years ago, and everything has been leadership since, it's very simple to understand how we might be becoming better leaders, but that's actually been at the detriment of us being weaker managers. See, when we talk about management, you have to look at things like the efficiencies of your team, the effectiveness of your team. When we look at KPIs, when we look at KPAs, they're all management. When you look at doing performance reviews, when you look at doing, people do yearly pay reviews and things like that, that is 100% management. It is not leadership. So if you've got any HR issues, if you've got two team members that, or a team member that's not quite a great fit, or you feel that someone's not quite ingrained with your points of culture or the vision of the business moving forward, that's management, not leadership. The ability to lay down plans for people so that they get their professional development over the next 6 or 12 months. The ability to better have team meetings, to run focus sheets, do one-on-one mentoring, etc. That's management. So if you're having any trouble in your business, or you need a focus to improve on the team culture and to improve on certain team members, or you're going through the hiring process, or you need better team members, or there's one or two team members that you wish were a little bit more efficient, or you've been asking questions like how I can get better output from some team members because they're not quite responding to what we're saying and doing. Those are purely management challenges and management principles. It's not leadership. So whilst everyone keeps banging on about leadership and keeps saying how leaders and talking themselves up as great leaders and what we need to do and lead, they're trying to lead themselves and convince themselves about leadership, it fundamentally means that we start to become weaker managers. And what we're seeing massively over the last, if you compare now to 3 or 4 years ago or 5 years ago, is that everyone may well be better leaders. And we may be very well versed at talking about holding hands, singing songs, jelly beans, unicorns, and rainbows, and all the fluffiness that tends to be associated with leadership. We've actually fundamentally not had a focus on management, and as a net result, we've actually undermined our own ability to build businesses and to scale, because management is always going to be more important than leadership in working with people and working with alignment of team members and getting all of the logistics and operational points moving forward. That is management. And that fundamentally is going to be the number one way for you to be able to build and grow your business sustainably and stable with the right people in the right way. The ability of true leadership in that respect is always going to be able to come to the forefront. And yes, you do need to be a better leader. We need to embrace leadership principles. But what we need to do, if we want to stop sucking at management, we need to stop always going to leaders and leadership and constantly trying to beat the drum about leadership and how great I am at leadership and I learned this and I learned that, and fundamentally understand that the biggest challenge in your business right now is actually a management one, and you need to be a better manager to get the operations right, to get the management right, to get all of the systems in place, the HR, the hiring, the alignment, the ability to communicate. All of those things are fundamentally management, not leadership. So, takeaway message is this: most health and medical professionals suck at management because they haven't had a focus. We've been too brainwashed for so many years about leadership, that we've forgotten about the core fundamental of management. And you need to learn how to be a better manager, how to manage firm but fair, how to create the right operational control in your business, the right HR side of things, develop the right team culture, and all of those things come from great management principles, not from leadership. So If you're struggling with any of those things around hiring or getting 1 or 2 team members on board with your vision, or they're not quite getting the right efficiency or effectiveness in your business as other team members, maybe they're at 70 or 80%, you want them at 85 or 90%. Maybe you have 1 or 2 team members that feel that they're not quite in your core values, or they're not in the right line with your 10-year plans, and all of these different things that we have. Fundamentally, those problems are because we're weak at management, and your focus must be on improving your management right now, not your leadership. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to solve those problems. So if you don't want to suck at growing your business, and the reason why you do currently suck, said with all due respect for all of us, is the fact that we've had too much fluffiness and unicorns and rainbows and jelly beans and singing kumbaya, etc. around leadership for so long that we've neglected the fundamentals about management. And if you look at what most people in our industry are saying about leadership, they actually are talking completely directly about management, and they don't understand that to start with. So understand there's a big difference between management and leadership. We need to have a focus on management. And 99 times out of 100, the challenges you've got in your business around operations, systems, growth, financials, marketing, HR, etc. All right, efficiencies, effectiveness, that's management, not leadership. Focus on your management, work on your management, go and talk to the people, do the learnings and the readings, and have a focus on your management to grow and build in that area to fix the leaks and the problems and the broken things now management-wise, and don't just get brainwashed into, I've got to be a better leader, because you're going to run down that path too far and you can continue to suck at management. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.